Access to nutritious food for many low-income consumers is a challenge. Many end up consuming food of low nutrition value, leading to malnutrition. This is, however, changing with companies innovatively coming up with products targeting this cluster. One such company is Pioneer Fish, situated in Kisumu County.
Farming is a difficult, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's a difficult proposition. You have to have a passion for it, for you to be able to make inroads, and you have to have a lot of patience. So it's not been a walk in the park. We started small. Initially, when we started as a hobby, we were doing a fingerling for production, for bait, for production of catfish as bait several years ago. But then we ventured, after making a conscious decision, to now go into serious tilapia farming, which we did come into the market as a hatchery about 6 years ago. Before we expanded, initially we were using the facilities in my homestead, where we built a small hatchery, but the scope for growth was a bit limited because of the water and the space. In the past 4 years, maybe 3.5, 4 years, we have since moved to a bigger space, not far from home. And so Pioneer Fish Farm, what you see here today, is just under 4 years old, where with support from Gain Marketplace, we've managed to expand our hatchery into a slightly bigger production unit, and been able to increase our production capacity to service a much larger client base. We've also since ventured into production of whole fish, something that we were not doing before. Initially, like I said, we had only focused on production of fingerlings, but we've since ventured into production of whole fish, specializing in a product that we have been pushing locally, affordable small fish, because you realize that the market for fish is made up of the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots, basically at the bottom of the pyramid, you'll find that they're not eating as much fish because of the cost of fish. So what we're trying to do is to also get into that cross-section, to cut across the market, all the market segments of tilapia, so that the small man in the village and in the township can be able to afford tilapia just as much as the guys, the middle class in the towns. So at the moment we are producing quite a significant volume of fish in the lake, and we are using, developing a model for retail outlets to be able to push it to a cross-section of customers that would want to eat fish. So making it more affordable to the local mwananchi.
In collaboration with the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, under the Marketplace for Nutritious Food Program, GAIN is helping organizations like Pioneers to sustainably upscale production for them to reach these consumer groups.
One of the programs that we are working on, and we've worked on successfully with GAIN, is that we are producing some good volumes of tilapia, but small-sized tilapia. We call it affordable kadogo-sized tilapia. So that instead of producing whole fish, half a kilo, selling for X amount of money, I'm able to produce half that size, or slightly less than half that size, which still has enough nutritious value to be able to feed a child or children in a family. You know, if it's 150-gram fish and you have 2, 3, 4 of them, Baba can eat one, Mama can eat one, 2 totos can eat one, and at the end of the day, you eat it once every week or twice a week. It gives you the nutritious value that you're looking for in terms of protein. So that affordable fish has been quite a bit of provided us with an opportunity to tap into the lower segment of the market. And guess what? From the same pond, I can overstock at the beginning. assume instead of putting 1,000, I can put in 1,500 if it's a small pond. And because I need to be left with 1,000 at the end of the day, I can harvest the 500 at 150 grams and still not affect the population in my pond and sell it as samaki kadogo. So again, with our farmers, we've been able to kind of sensitize them to the fact that you don't need to all grow your fish to 300, because sometimes it will never grow to 300 or to 500 grams in a pond. Grow it to the size that that the local community can afford, and this affects a lot the rural population.
Pioneer Fish has taken a step further to innovatively and entrepreneurially undertake cage fish farming in open waters on Lake Victoria to ensure that the fish they produce is reared in the most natural environment.
The market has been very interesting. You know, there was this myth that farmed fish in a pond is not as tasty as fish in the lake. And what we did when we first harvested, really very first harvest, I identified a couple of old mamas who've eaten fish for years, my grandmother being one of them. And I took for her, you know, our first harvest to try and give me an opinion. I didn't tell her it was from the cage, and she loved it. But later, it's a question of trying to get the population to know that the fish, it's fish in the natural environment, it's in the lake. So the fact that you're feeding it, notwithstanding, you're looking at the same quality of fish as if you'd get from the, I would dare say, even better tasting than the wild catch, because it's more controlled, but it's very taste, and the flesh is as good as the wild catch because of the natural environment in which it is being reared.
This program is also focusing on cereal and other food groups available in particular towns. In Eldoret town, where the supply of milk is high, they're working with progressive organizations such as Tarakwo Dairy Limited, which has grown from a farmers' union to cooperative society and now operating as a public company to upscale production by affordably selling milk to consumers across board.
GAIN have actually assisted us to reach the low-income earners by purchasing the ATM machines. And those ATM machines now we are able to dispense milk as per the requirements of the low-income earners. So our milk is affordable and readily available for those particular low-income earners. That's what GAIN has really assisted us, because they have been able to get more of the ATM machines that we are now trying to expand to open more outlets in Eldoret town. They really assisted us to acquire the equipment that we required. For example, the lab equipments, the one I showed you there. We are now able to analyze milk properly that we are getting from farmers, and also we are able to now start the chilling plant, the new chilling plant, through assistance of GAIN. They have also given us technical support in the financial side, that now we have improved our financial systems that we are using at the moment. And also they have also assisted that the technical advice on the marketing end. Now we are able now to start doing marketing of products very well.
And what do consumers make of these budget products?
Inakuwa fresh na kwa bei unachukua kulingana pesa yako yenye uko nayo, si kama yenye kwa fixed. Kila mara huwa nawaambia maziwa mazuri iko hapa ATM, ambayo haina uchanja yote, kama yenye wao nauza kwa vipanda. Kwa mara nyingi ya vipanda wanaongeza mafuta, wanaweka unga ya chapati. Sasa hii sio maziwa mzuri. Hii ni maziwa mzuri ambayo wanakunywa kila mara. Hata ukiwa unatoka saa yoyote utapata hii maziwa, sio utakuja utayaikosa ama nini.
Tarakwo iko karibu, alafu hii ndio base yani in town, iko katikati ya town. Na hapa ndio ni most wengi sio tunakula huko chini jua kali huko. So hapa ndio the cheapest place tunaweza kuja. Ni the fastest place. Haikuangi busy vile, neta machine zao ziko fast. Yeah.
As developing countries grapple on how to meet these second and third sustainable development goals, which focus on fighting hunger, good health, and well-being respectively, Programs such as the Marketplace for Nutritious Food and efforts by agri-entrepreneurs will go a long way to ensuring that the low-income consumers also have access to these foods.